up for Paralert, guys.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, our society today currently faces a major problem. And this problem is that teens plus technology equals procrastination. So, what we've done is developed a solution to combat this problem. But first, let me give you an example of this problem in your real life. So let's say that you're trying to use a scheduling software such as TikTok, right? Great scheduling software. But one of the problems, or even one of the questions that have been asked, is how are you supposed to get the discipline to actually use the software and actually make it work in your life? And this is why we've developed the software, which is called Paralert, on account of what it does. Okay, this is essentially an app that runs on both the computer and the phone, and works to limit the amount of time that is allowed to be spent on sites such as video games, or such as social media, or even video game programs. Right? And how it does this is by alerting parents, hence the name, which is a combination of parent and alert. So the key product features include being able to manage internet and website usage by comparing use in real time to how much a parent decides to allocate for their children to be able to use. Right? It can also alert the parent when the child goes on a site that is deemed as something on the blacklist, which would be a social media site or a gaming site. It alerts parents when the child's allocated time is up. And we think that this is really good because it helps build work habits. And yeah, because it helps build work habits. Our target demographic is parents with teens. Clearly in this picture you can see that the parent is extremely frustrated because her child won't get off the phone and start getting better grades. We're advertising this service mainly towards parents so that they can keep track of their children's daily life and help them manage their time. Also, by allowing parents to track their students' internet usage, they can check whether they're going on something that is unsafe and intercede as soon as possible. We've also seen that there's a possibility for expansion into usage as a personal scheduler along with this function, but we'll talk about this later. Alright, next, you probably want to know, hey, do people actually want to use this app? Have these kids actually asked people to pull out their wallets for them? And the answer is yes. We've actually created a survey to gauge the interest of parents in our product, and some of the stats that we found are 70% of parents are currently frustrated trying to get their kids off sites and onto work. Sounds like any of you? 90% of parents said that they wanted to have an option to limit their children's internet usage. So in the case that for whatever reason, one day they decided, oh, I think my kid is going on the internet too much. They wanted to have an option to be able to change this. And finally, 60% of parents said that they were willing to pay for this service. And this ranged from them immediately pulling out their wallets and saying, okay, I would be willing to pay this much, and to some saying, oh, I'd be willing to pay $20 a year up to $20 a month.
Okay, so one of the main questions that we ask ourselves is, how are we going to get people here? So our strategy is, all the customers like one word, free. So we made a plan where we would make our app free with all the full content for a month, but then they would get downgraded back to a basic model with only some of the abilities to give them a taste of what it can actually do. And then after, they would have the option to upgrade back to a premium version, so then they would have the full content again. So the way we make money is if they buy get the pro version. So then we would get some cost every month. So as Chris said, some people would pay upwards to $20 a month, which can build up quickly. Now, some of the competitor companies are quite similar to ours, like Verado, but theirs is different than ours because they have everything we do, except ours gives the parents notifications when their child goes onto an unwanted site. Another app is App Search-In, which essentially does the same thing, but it only shows you what you download, not what you visit. Yeah.
Okay, so now we'll go over customer channels. Who are we going to sell this to? Well, first, when we develop the app, we're going to let mommy bloggers test the app as we bring out new versions. So what this is going to do is it's going to allow us to get live feedback as we create this app. And also, it's going to be free advertisement for us because the mommy bloggers are going to want to let the world know about our app. Secondly, as Jonathan said, we're going to provide a free 30-day trial for parents who want to, maybe try out our app and determine whether they want to make the purchase or not. And lastly, we're going to give referral promotions. So for example, if a parent were to refer, say, another parent, then maybe that parent could get 1 month free or 2 months free. And that would obviously spread the word without costing us any money. So scalability. How big can this app get? Well, obviously this app can get to a really large scale because many children nowadays have phones, laptops, and their own personal devices. And parents have little control over this. So many people now are connected to the internet more than ever before, and every day that number is increasing. And I'll give you guys a statistic. Daily Mail says that 59% of children around the age of 10 are already using Facebook. And 30% of those parents that are parents of those children are actually uncertain about their child's safety online. So sustainability. So this app will have a long time use because the adolescent stage for children lasts a very long time, and parents stay with their children during their teen years. So trends change over time with the internet and what's popular. So for example, right now, Facebook, Twitter, and Vine are very popular. And for our app, we will obviously have a group of researchers who will determine what's popular now and in order to notify parents what their children are going on and to determine the trends of today's world. So parents right now are very busy with their work, so they don't have all the time to monitor exactly what their child is doing on the computer, online all the time. So this is why our product is viable. And yeah, thanks for listening to our presentation.
You missed the biggest competitor. Windows. They already have this.
Good question.
So, the one thing you're going to want to do is have a look at, it's called Windows. It's under their control panel. It's under the administrator. It's under creating a child's account. It can be put onto any counterpart from the administrator. So the one thing you're going to want to do is find a way to make sure that yours stands out from theirs.
Oh, so the difference between theirs and ours is that ours notifies the parents immediately.
Theirs does as well.
No, honestly, what we were going to do is actually have part of our program correspond to the child's marks, which would actually determine how much time they were allocated.
Okay, so add in the school stuff.
So
Okay.
for some reason, we decided to take that out.
I think you missed your target market completely because I think you should be selling this to schools and governments that are trying to get more kids into science and technology, because the amount of kids that are going to learn how to program just to hack their way around your thing is going to create the next generation of programmers.
Yep.
Black hat, yeah. Did you talk to any other kids, by the way? I mean, how would you guys feel if your parents
Sorry.
So just wondering if you asked, you know, your colleagues the same age as you are, how they would feel with their parents having visibility into their usage.
Yeah, we asked some of our friends, but on a personal level, I wouldn't really like it.
Thank you for your honesty.
But yeah, I guess
That's why it's valuable.
if we did it, my marks would probably go up. But then again, the teenage opinion for this app would probably be on the negative side. So that's why it's more targeted towards parents and maybe even schools and education.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Thanks, guys.